right here.
That's right.
Are you telling people that there's a boat coming up from Mark? Ready, Debbie?
Oh, no, it's not.
Did you guys sign in outside?
Yes.
We don't need to sign it.
Thank you.
Welcome. Down to your left.
Yeah, dude, I started watching the show at like 2. The part, like when you're up there, like in the moment, it's fun, but like everything else is like not worth it.
I'd rather just do one. I want somewhere that would be safe for us, somewhere that.
Hi everyone, I recognize some familiar faces in the room and some unfamiliar ones. That's really exciting. So my name's Catherine. I'm an organizer here in the Triangle for Bernie Sanders. And thank you. It's really good to be back home. We've been working together for months to build and transform this country with a multiracial movement for everyday working people to get Bernie Sanders in the White House. Lots of excitement. It might be tempting to say, oh, I'll wait till later to early vote. But we need everyone in this room who is from Durham County or plans to vote in Durham County to early vote immediately after this event together. In fact, right now, if you're from Durham County or planning to vote in Durham County, make sure you know our location we're going to after this is the Criminal Justice Resources Center. In a minute, we're going to gather and everyone together where you see the exit signs in the back to be a big part of history unfolding. That's what's happening across the country right now, with volunteers leading the way in early states, and we owe it to each other and the movement to do all we can in this crucial and historic moment for the political revolution. We may never get a chance like this again. Organizers are making their ways around with shift sign-up sheets. Make sure you find an organizer and sign up right now. We have locations all over the
Entire state for Bernie. It's this incredible, amazing city of Durham. Y'all ready to win? Let's get to work, y'all. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage founder of Hate-Free Schools Coalition, Latondra Strong.
Because I know that it's all in the movement, and the movement is going to make a difference. My name is Latondra Strong, and I started Hate-Free Schools Coalition. I wrote a letter as a mom to my school questioning the Confederate flag being in our schools. My school officials said it was okay to bring the Confederate flags in my school. I didn't stop there. I started coalition building. I started speaking to people in my town. I started the Hate-Free Schools. I started. So when that happened, I didn't stop. I got to work. I started.
I'm the vice chair of the North Carolina Democratic Party and candidate for Durham County Commissioner, and I feel the burn. When I first met Senator Sanders all the way back in 2015, he was polling at just 2%. Look how far we've come now. I, like many of you, was drawn to Senator Sanders after experiencing trauma and seeing the need and urgency for change. I began supporting Bernie after my friend Yusser was brutally murdered in her home in a hate crime in the Chapel Hill shooting alongside her husband Diab and her sister Roseanne. I realized that we couldn't stand by idly anymore, that my community's voice needed to be heard, that we deserve to be able to vote for someone we are passionate about.
Last night I was at First Baptist Church in downtown Raleigh in a crowded sanctuary with dozens of fast food and farm workers who are struggling to survive off a slave wage. You cannot pay for housing, food, education, and health care on $7.25 per hour. It can't be done. So I'm sitting at this church and I was listening to folks' testimony and I saw the Fight for 15 had a slogan. The slogan is respect, dignity, power. Now, I'm a millennial. I grew up in the 90s. That made me think about Lil' Kim and the Lox song, Money, Power, Respect. Y'all remember that song? Make sure Bernie wins North Carolina. And while we're at it, we need to flip the House and the Senate so we can get more money, power, respect. Let me hear y'all say money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. It's the key to life. All right, thank y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage actress, activist, and national surrogate, Susan Sarandon.
Bernie has the people's money, Bernie has the people, and he is with us and fight for us when no one else will. I was in a crowd in October in Queens, where I was actually born in New York, and 27,000 people. Sunny day under the bridge, yep, another New Yorker was there. Gorgeous day, and high-powered, Senator Turner, Michael Moore, AOC, everybody speaking, and Bernie got up. The crowd was under the bridge. It was all over. You couldn't see. They were in the streets for blocks and blocks and blocks because the park wouldn't hold. And at the end of his speech, he said, I want you to look out, and I want you to find in this crowd someone that you don't know, a stranger, who doesn't look like you, maybe doesn't pray like you. Real systemic change. And we are in an emergency, and that is what we need now. And for those who have the will, the fight, the interest to get it done and say that it's impossible, I just want to give you one more quote from Muhammad Ali, the great Muhammad Ali. He said, impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact. Impossible is an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration. It is a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing, and we are going to take that dare and we are going to make it happen. It is happening now. You are going to make it happen. We are going to make this happen together. And Bernie Sanders is going to be the next president of the United States, and we will enter the White House. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce a woman who I love, who I admire, and who is the engine, who is the driving force, who is a rock star. Senator Nina Turner.
Oh my God, only all that we love is on the line. That's all, nothing too big. That's it, just that small little thing, just all that we love. And we can't, my grandmother, who's from the South, used to have a saying that we can show them better than we can tell them. Hello, somebody. And what we are going to do is show the elites in this country and the so-called power class in this country that the workaday people from all walks of life are going to come together and change the dynamics of this country. Hello, somebody.
We cannot continue having a president of the United States who is a pathological liar, who is running a corrupt administration, who does not respect our Constitution or democracy, who thinks that he is above the law, who is a racist, a sexist, a homophobe, a xenophobe, and a religious bigot. Those are his good qualities. The other reason that we're going to win is, I think, all across this country, people understand there is something wrong when we have a corrupt political system that allows billionaires to buy elections. Now, we may be old-fashioned. What we believe in is democracy, one person, one vote, not billionaires buying elections. In North Carolina and in many other states in this country, you have a minimum wage, which is nothing less than a starvation wage. Nobody can live on $7.25 an hour. We are going to raise that minimum wage to a living wage, $15 an hour. We believe in equal pay for equal work. Women should not be making 79 cents on the dollar compared to men. And we believe that workers have the right to join unions when we talk about the future of this country, we're going to be changing national priorities. Instead of investing in the military-industrial complex, we're going to invest in education. Instead of giving tax breaks to billionaires, we're going to have universal, high-quality, affordable child care. We're going to triple funding for low-income Title I public schools, so that all children in America get the quality education they need, independent of their zip code. education, we respect educators and teachers and those people who work in that. And that is why we believe that no teacher in America should earn less than $60,000 a year. Because we believe in education, we think that every kid in North Carolina or Vermont who has the ability and the desire should be able to get a higher education, college, trade school, whatever, regardless of the income of his or her family. And that is why we are going to make public colleges and universities tuition free. Of our great country being the only major nation on earth not to guarantee health care to all people. The current system is dysfunctional and it is cruel. We are spending, I want everybody to hear this, we are spending twice as much per person on health care as do the people of any other country. You all know that? We spend about $11,000 for every man, woman, and child, and yet, despite that huge expenditure, 87 million Americans are either uninsured or underinsured. We have 30,000 people who die each year because they don't get to a doctor on time. We pay, by far, the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. And unbelievably, some 500,000 people go bankrupt every year. You know why they go bankrupt? That's crazy. Because they have cancer, or they have heart disease, and they can't afford to pay off their medical debt. That is cruel, that is outrageous, and we are going to end all of that. Healthcare, whether you are rich or middle class or poor, healthcare is a human right. And the function of a rational and humane healthcare system is to guarantee healthcare to all, not to make $100 billion in profit last year for the insurance companies and the drug companies. Whether the healthcare industry likes it or not, we are going to pass a Medicare for all. Something else, what our campaign is about is thinking outside the box and not running away from some of the very serious issues facing our country. It's very easy for politicians to put difficult issues underneath the rug and ignore them. We don't. And one of the issues that we must deal with is the existential threat to our country and the entire planet of climate change. Sadly, we have a president who thinks climate change is a quote-unquote hoax. Well, in my view, Donald Trump is a hoax. What the scientists are telling us, and this is really scary stuff, but they are scientists. Of course climate change is real. Of course climate change is caused by human activity. And of course climate change is already doing devastating harm to our country and the world. But this is what they are now saying. They are saying that they have underestimated the speed and the severity of the damage that climate change is doing and will do unless we get our act together. Polar ice caps melting at a faster rate than they had anticipated, oceans warming at a fast rate, sea level rising at a faster rate, drought more severe, extreme weather disturbances more severe, acidification of the oceans more severe, and what the United Nations tells us, if we don't get our act together, by the end of this century, there may well be hundreds of millions of climate refugees. People no longer able to live in their communities because there's no water to drink, no land to grow their crops. What we have got to do is to finally have the courage to tell the fossil fuel industry that their short-term profits are not more important than the future of humanity. What we intend to do is to end our broken and racist criminal justice system. We cannot continue to have more people in jail today than any other country on earth over 2 years. What we intend to do is invest in our young people, in jobs and education, not more jails and incarceration. We are going to end private prisons and detention centers. I'll tell you what else we're going to do. We are going to end the destructive war on drugs. Executive order, other things you need legislation. One of the things that a president can do with an executive order is to make marijuana legal in every state. I ask you a question, be honest with me here now. How many people here know someone who was arrested for possession of marijuana? Anybody know anybody who has not been arrested for possession of marijuana? All right, what we are going to do, I mean, that's the enormity of the problem. What we are going to do is expunge the records of those arrested. When we talk about broken systems, we have a broken and racist immigration system. On our first day, we are going to restore the legal status of the 1.8 million young people eligible for the vote. Under our administration, federal agents will not be snatching babies from the unborn. We will succeed in passing bipartisan, comprehensive immigration reform and a path toward citizenship. Our policy will be written by the American people, not the NRA. We will have universal background checks. People with violent past should not own guns. We will end the gun show loophole and the straw man provision ends. We will do what the American people want. And the sale and distribution of assault weapons. I am a United States Senator. I'm on the floor of the Senate, and I hear a lot of speeches from my conservative Republican colleagues. And their mantra is that they believe in small government, they believe in getting the government off the backs of the American people. And I say to those hypocrites, if you believe in getting the government off the backs of the American people, understand that it is women who have the right to control their own bodies, not men. Presidential election in the modern history of this country, if not in the entire history of this country. And what our campaign is about, as I mentioned, is defeating a very, very dangerous president who is undermining democracy, who has no respect for the Constitution, who thinks that the free media is an enemy of the people, who thinks that the Congress does not have a right to have oversight over his administration, who is now busy attacking the judiciary. Furthermore, we have a president who is running a corrupt administration. And I know that not everybody in North Carolina agrees with everything that I say. I got it. But I hope that we can all agree that that kind of person should not and must not win a second term. Our campaign is putting together an unprecedented, multi-generational, multi-racial coalition of millions of people. Now, I understand that some of our opponents are billionaires and they're buying the airwaves. I got it. Others of our opponents get, lots and lots of money from billionaires. What makes our campaign different is not only the unprecedented level of grassroots support that we have, it is how we raise our funding. And I'm very proud to tell you this, I really am, that we have received more campaign contributions, almost 7 million, from more Americans, over 1.5 million, than any candidate in the history of America. I understand that they have unlimited amounts of money. But at the end of the day, if we stand together and we do not allow Trump and his friends to divide us up based on the color of our skin, or where we were born, or our sexual orientation, or our religion, or our agenda, if we stand together as one people, we will not only defeat Trump, we will transform this country. Us, not me. The reason for that is pretty simple, is that we reject Trump's definition of what the good life is about. What he believes is that what the good life is about is making as much money as you can, becoming a billionaire, stepping on everybody, lying and cheating and stealing. That's his understanding of what life is about. We reject that. We understand that we are stronger human beings when we reach out to each other. when your family, look, every family in America has got a problem, believe me. All right? And we are stronger when your family helps my family and when my family helps your family. When we understand your limits. And we also understand, if we know American history, that real change never ever takes place from the top on down, always from the bottom on up. That is the history of the labor movement, it's the history of the civil rights movement, it is the history of the women's movement, it is the history of the gay rights movement, it is the history of the environmental movement. And what that means is the only time that real change takes place is when millions of people stand up and look around them and say the status quo is not working, we want change. And justice. This is a campaign of economic justice, social justice, racial justice, environmental justice. To take on Wall Street, the insurance industry, the drug companies, the fossil fuel industry, the military-industrial complex, the prison-industrial complex, and the whole damn 1%. Just a little bit nervous. They look around and they say, oh my God, people are beginning to stand up and fight for justice. People want decent wages, decent education. People want the rich and the powerful to start paying their fair share of taxes. Human rights. People want to address the crisis of climate change. To end a broken criminal justice system, a broken immigration system, to protect a woman's right to control her own body. The establishment is getting nervous. That is a good thing. Let us go forward. Let's win here in North Carolina. Let's win the nomination. Thank you. Authority, Nina Turner, that early voting in North Carolina has started. So you know what? Get out and vote early. Thank you.
it amazing?
It was amazing. Absolutely.
Please join us for early voting right now.
It would, but we're with Kim.
Okay, yeah, no worries, thank you.
I knew that was